Hello, this is June 25th, and this is what is going on in the garden this year. This year, more so than others, I was able to really focus on just going for abundance and succession planting and just filling in all the gaps I can. I've done pretty good. There's still a little spot that I haven't filled in yet, but a lot of successes this year, a lot of failures too, but one of the big successes is that I was able to, after 3 years of trying, can grow a whole row of sunflowers across the front of the garden. They all germinated really well, and I don't think I've ever had sunflowers this tall this early in the year. I've got a massive mammoth one in the middle again this year, like last year. This whole bed is Dawn's flowers that are coming up. Here's where I'm doing tomatoes. It looks a little messy. That's because I planted an understory of greens and radishes. And my tomatoes got a really slow start because I didn't acclimate them to sun before sticking them in, so they got sunburnt and then had to just strengthen from hardly anything in the ground. Wow. There's already flower starting in there. That's crazy. Oh yeah, these tomatoes I got from my friend Sandy, and they are very happy. What else do I have? Oh yeah, beyond these tomatoes, there's lots of kale, just a bunch of variety. I'm going for abundance in greens this year, so I planted multiple areas with kale. This is all herbs, mostly basil, and I'm really hoping they'll take off. It's been so hot that my little seedlings have struggled, but coming into the garden, this center is Dawn's droopy sunflower. It'll perk up. It's probably just because of the rain. Here's the bed of asparagus. This is the first year that we've harvested after 3 years of growing, and it was such a great harvest. Now we're just letting it leaf out. I did throw some peppers in just now. I don't know if they'll survive. Just throwing random stragglers in, and I've got tomatoes in the back. What else? Well, I guess we can continue from here. The nasturtiums, they just bloomed last night. This is so early for nasturtiums. They smell amazing, and there's more on the way, different colors. Oh wow, that looks like a pretty color. It's not very focused. That's gonna be beautiful. I'm so excited. These Brussels sprouts finally are settling in and getting stronger. And back here, I planted a lot of the glass gem corn because it was so fun to open them last fall. Here's closer up of how well my kale is doing, and lettuce and spinach. Cilantro is going to seed. But I'm so happy about all this kale variety. Here I have some cabbages that are trying to do their thing. Dawn's lemongrass. And look at these turnips. They're doing really well. I also have some kohlrabi back here, which is starting to plump up. Some radishes intermixed there. Arugula that's going to seed. It didn't last very long this year. That was rather disappointing. Over here, planted beans mixed in with okra, which hopefully won't get shaded out. I should have planted the beans after the okra, but I planted them at the same time. Anyway, maybe these look a little happier. Planted 2 patches of okra here in the garden. But I'm also experimenting with okra in a back lot in a clearing in the woods. Here's my back greens bed. It's got a lot of abundance. I just pulled out some late radishes and other stuff that was cold weather crops, but I've got parsley, chard, lettuces, more chard. Just threw in some cabbages to see how they do. Carrots, lots of them. Spinach on the way out. Some more cabbages. This is Premier Kale that is doing so well. Romanesco broccoli. I'm trying this again. It didn't work my first year gardening, but who knows? One of my favorite types of kale, the lacinato. Cilantro. More spinach. And, oh, my favorite lettuce. It always stays vibrant green like spring. That doesn't belong. There's lots of things that don't belong. Like these calendula that self-seeded. However, I will not be removing them. They're just so lovely. All different types of colors. Rhubarb is doing well this year. Over here in the back, I threw in cucumbers. I just kind of mulched them with ferns to keep the moisture in. And going around the edge, this is intermixed with onions, carrots, and beets that are doing pretty well, even though they're kind of crowded. In the very back is where I threw more okra in after first sowing lettuces. The okra is popping up and it's actually looking like it might make it all right. The lettuce will probably bolt soon, but I have 2 rows, red okra in the back and green okra in the front. And all this lettuce just self-seeded this year, and it was amazing to eat. Look, look! Borage flowers already in bloom. This is so early. Ooh, you can tell this is going to be a dark sunflower, judging from the purple stems already. Okay, let's zoom out here. Whoop-a. Going back to this next row, next to the fence, I threw more kale in, lettuces and radishes. That's last year's onions. And then all this is peas. I just harvested the peas, and it's the biggest harvest yet this year. And I planted purple peas for the very first time. They're snow peas. They don't taste as good, but they sure do look cool. And these guys are so delicious. But that is a hefty harvest. I'm really happy with that. I'm also happy with how much parsley I've got growing. I do believe that is all that's happening here in the garden. Behind me over here, all the thimbleberries are in bloom. They have been for more than a week, which means we'll be getting berries very soon. That's exciting. I also have another plot in the woods that maybe I can show it real quick. Hello, chickens. Okay. Through a rough patch in the woods, I helped to make a massive clearing by this beautiful oak tree for the family I live with. They had a vow renewal ceremony, and it was magical. There were ferns and flowers. Now it's a little overgrown. But look, this is the oak tree. So amazing. Yeah, but I got permission to turn the back of this clearing into a little plot of happy plants. Mostly, I am going for, oopsies, an abundance of okra. And they seem really happy so far. You can kind of see them amidst the weeds. I've got red okra here. And the rest, oh yes, they're popping up, my second planting. I've got about 40 okra, threw some random climbing beans in. I did throw some squash varieties in here. I'm hoping they'll pop up. But wow, yeah. Look, I got good germination here on my okra. Woo! Exciting. Okay. And I did throw some spaghetti squash that sprouted in my squash. I was like, I can't toss you guys. Here, have some dirt to grow in. But here, the challenge we'll just be seeing if the okra can outgrow the weeds. This used to be more prairie just in this clearing. I do see a squash. I do see a squash. That's exciting. Can't remember what variety, but that is enough to make me happy because I am leaving for at least a week and a half today, and will not be able to baby these guys and give them water. So they're on their own now, and we will see what happens.